Okay, we're all being recorded now, so so
I didn't do my makeup or anything. Don't tell me, bro. Come on.
Word of warning about makeup, as in seeing as that was my area of expertise as I exposed myself this time in quarantine.
Oh god, yeah.
What was that about? I was so confused.
Let me explain that. Okay, basically, there's this. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Until Tomorrow challenge. Basically,
Nah.
Yeah, you have to put up an embarrassing picture of yourself for 24 hours, and the only caption you can say is "Until tomorrow," and you can only tag the person who asked you to put it up. So Natalie asked me to put it up. Natalie is this girl from my uni. She asked me to put it up. So I was going through my photos trying to find what's embarrassing, and my original thought was, let me just put up one of me clean shaven, because that's pretty bad. I can't lie. So me when I was like 16, because my face is pretty round when it's clean shaven. When I was 16, boy, that was a circle. Like I was good. But then I was like, when I was scrolling, I came across this picture. It's got a pretty embarrassing story behind it as well. So I put it up, and obviously like got catcalled a bunch of times in the comments, but yeah, word of warning.
That picture's horrifying.
Yeah, no, it's so stupid as well. So our school used to do this thing, right, where on Friday afternoons they'd make you do something like, you'd have to do like a skill or something like enriching. It was called enrichment. So Friday afternoons we'd have to do enrichment. So I was doing like filming or something, because it's like the closest to drama. So we were doing like editing and all that stuff. And in the room right next to us, a bunch of upper six girls were doing I think they're doing some art things, and they came into our classroom. They were like, can we put makeup on one of the guys just for jokes, like just see what happens? And me being the absolute cool kid that I was, thinking I'm gonna go chat up some upper six girls, went over, sat down, they put makeup on me. Turns out you can't talk when makeup's been put on your face, so that was out the window. And then by the end of it, I came out of it, and then the girls were like, okay, this is great. Then they started taking it off with these like alcohol rub wipes or something, and that burns so hard. So I was just there with a burning face going home, like came home with like my face like burning, so like put it under cold water and decided if I'm ever gonna talk to a girl, I'm just gonna talk to a girl and not do shit like this. But here we are. So
you live and you learn, bro.
You live and you learn.
Oh god, I thought it was a Snapchat filter at first, like, and then I realized
that's authentic. And
not gonna lie, I didn't know who it was.
Yeah,
I just didn't know who it was.
To be honest, before I put that up, I was more concerned about my hairline, because if you look at that picture, like, because my barbers used to do this thing, right? Because my hair grows. They used to like line it up so it'd go a bit further back, like just so it looked all lined up. So I used to have a massive forehead for a large part of 6 months.
I'm gonna have to find this. Is it still on Insta?
No, I took it off. You only have to put it up for 24 hours, and like I cheated. I took it off early because I just couldn't bear being called fit. So yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, are you guys doing anything fun during quarantine? Or have you done?
Do you guys not have exams? Like,
dude, I said fun. See, I told you, he's a sweat. This is fun.
We've got so many projects and shit going on, and you guys are just chilling. Like, Manny's doing all this stuff on his story every single day. Like, does he not have anything to do?
Yeah, we do have exams, but it's just, I don't know. It's like you can't take it seriously.
Yeah, and we kind of, to be honest, this SEM's exams, I think we got kind of lucky because we've had midterms for all the subjects. So like pretty much half of each subject has been already studied. So we're kind of we've kind of got a whole month of literally just sitting here and studying. I can't do it. I'll be honest with myself.
I mean, that must be like having you going crazy.
I'm going crazy. I can't lie. I'm very irritable a lot of the time. Just want to get angry and shout at people. So
I'm just tired all the time doing that.
Tired of being tired.
Hopefully they open this quarantine up soon so we can all have like parties and shit, because I'm definitely trying to throw a big bash for my birthday. I'm just holding back.
When is it?
A big bash. Sure, 4th of August.
Oh god, exposed.
I'm trying to get a little house party thing going. So
wait, but Sammy's is like 10 days afterwards, no?
No, Sammy's is 21st of July.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jeez, Joe.
Oh god.
What's going on with you?
Interesting.
So hopefully they. I want to say, wait, it's lockdown, so they unlock
Unlock the lockdown.
unlock the lockdown, unlock the city.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, some people, the reason it's going on for so long is people are just not taking this seriously enough. Like,
Honest. Yeah.
Obviously, you know how the government's always being like, you can only do one form of exercise. So obviously, I'm trying to take as much advantage of that as I can. So, like, I've been going for walks and stuff. There are people in the
multiple walks.
No, one walk. Come on.
Okay. I'm just checking, bro.
One.
I report you otherwise.
1 2 hour walk. So it's but like I go through like the city centre because my house is like walking distance to the city centre.
Yeah.
There are people there, I kid you not, they're not there for their one form of exercise. There was this one couple who were like properly dressed up. I'm like, where are you going? There's, like, everything's closed. If you get dressed up, just come out in the sun and go back home. Like, what's going on? But
yeah, but to be honest, it's hard for people like to stay at home.
It is hard.
Like, day in, day out.
You're really restless when you're inside. Like,
honestly,
you. I think we appreciate how much being outside is, like how good it is once we're in a situation like this. Like, I feel like I'm not gonna go inside until it starts snowing. Once they unlock, I'm gonna be outside. Yeah. But yeah, okay. Let's talk some football. Let's talk about this season to start off with. We'll stick with Prem. We'll maybe branch out into Champions League teams in a bit. But yeah, Prem. Me and Joe were discussing PFA Player of the Season just before. What are your thoughts? We've thrown Aubameyang and De Bruyne into the mix. I want to say let's get 5 players and discuss them. What do you think?
As in, you have to put, I think, like Mane up there. Like, Mane has been unreal for Liverpool. Like, even if he hasn't been he has been a standout player obviously, but like he's been there just for like those jammy 1-goal wins. Like, that has literally been the second half of their season. So like, has to put Mane up there.
I think I really like one thing about Mane's game. I think that people don't talk about. Everyone talks about his speed, his finishing, and all that stuff. And Mane's actually a pretty consistent player. Like, if you think about it, like almost every game I see of Mane, I want to say he doesn't give you below maybe like a 6 out of 10 performance every game. Like, I don't think that's moments where I'm like Mane's been particularly poor today. I've seen games where even Salah's been like, I'm like, well, he's just not existed. But Mane every game somehow is making the runs, he's putting pressure.
I think the only problem with Mane is that he's not a natural goal scorer.
Exactly.
I don't know, it's weird. Like, his shooting isn't amazing, but he does get goals. So.
He does, because like Mane's one of those players who just shoots a lot, so eventually something has to go in. So like something has to go in eventually. But like at the end of the day, if Mane takes 100 shots in a game, they win 1-0. You're not going to complain, are you?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm going to complain because
for sure.
Like, it is how it is. But yeah, so we got Mane, we've got De Bruyne, we've got Aubameyang, which is an interesting one. What are your thoughts?
How come Aubameyang? What, just because he's like top goal scorer?
He's second top goal scorer. The reason I think we're talking about Aubameyang is because of how important he is to his team. Like, if we look at top goal scorer right now, Jamie Vardy is top goal scorer with 19. But I just don't think he's I just don't think he's irreplaceable in that team. And also, I don't think I think he's a finisher. But you've got guys behind him. You got your Maddison, you got your Barnes, who's been really good this season, and you got Tielemans and everyone who are doing all the dirty work behind him. I think with Aubameyang, he does the ball progression, he does the goal scoring, he puts a lot of pressure, he does a lot of defensive work as well. Like, one thing you got to appreciate about the Arsenal team, which I mentioned earlier, they're starting midfielders Torreira, Xhaka, and Özil. Xhaka and Özil are just not mobile. Torreira is not really a ball progressor, so you're kind of in a situation where who progresses the ball? Well, it's Aubameyang and Pepe. Pepe has not been on that good form, so you're then they're like, he's a crucial element to that team. That's why I think
definitely.
But then again, like, Aubameyang and Vardy are quite similar when you think about it. Like, they're quite similar players. Okay, Aubameyang is better.
Miles better.
Vardy's like a natural striker where he gets in behind. So you kick it over the top, he runs, he scores.
But do you think
Aubameyang is almost like that as well?
do you think Vardy could play off the left in the same way Aubameyang does? If you had another striker in that Leicester team, say you played Iheanacho down the middle.
You know what? He probably could.
You think so?
Yeah, he's got the pace for it as well.
Yeah, he's quick. He's rapid. So.
True. Like you have to respect Vardy. I'd probably put him in a PFA team of the year, like the team, but I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd put him as the player as such.
Yeah, I don't think you could put him ahead of Aubameyang, in my opinion.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like to that Leicester team.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, go on.
I was going to say, are those the three players we're going to discuss, or does anyone have any nominations? But you're going. What were you saying about Vardy?
I was gonna say, like, yeah, if you're gonna put someone from Leicester, you need to be. I mean, probably there's other players that you could put that are more crucial to Leicester's season.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
This time than Vardy.
But then again, I think you take away Vardy's goals, Leicester struggle. Like Leicester's not a.
That's true.
I don't think they're a top club without Vardy's goals. In my opinion.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think you put in another. I think it's not easy to replace a Vardy in that team. You need to have a really good finisher. So
there's the same thing with Aubameyang for Arsenal. So.
That's true, exactly. Have we got any other nominations for Player of the Season, or we think we can
Player of the Season
for those three?
In terms of importance to the team, again, I don't think you can like stress the importance of like a Fabinho or a Van Dijk to Liverpool.
Very true.
Their defense has always been shambolic, but then since Van Dijk's come in, Fabinho's come in, they've looked a lot more solid at the back. At least like they were the first half.
I agree with that. I think what's interesting is Van Dijk gets a lot of hype, but Fabinho is an interesting one because people don't talk about him much, but he keeps that midfield ticking over. He's like the.
Exactly.
I think he's not a noticeable player in that team. He's a bit like Busquets in the sense that you don't notice them when they play. You notice them when they don't play. So when you take them out of that team, they look like a lot more vulnerable. I think one game that really stands out, like straying a little bit, because I'm comparing him to Busquets. One game that stood out to me, which I watched, was Barcelona-Sevilla in not this season, last season, where they had like an all-star team out. Like they had everyone out: Messi, Dembele, Suarez, everyone. But that midfield, who like they didn't have Busquets. I think he was suspended or something. That midfield was getting overrun again and again and again. They literally, Rakitic, Vidal, they just could not have control of the guys in midfield. Like they just couldn't control the midfield. It was just getting overrun again and again. And like another thing is like Fabinho's this guy. He's not a particularly mobile player, but like you can tell he stops a lot of things going past through to defense. So I think.
Wait, who won it last season?
Last season was.
Is it not Salah?
I want to say it's Salah.
Was it Salah?
Let me check. I feel like it was Salah or De Bruyne, one of the two.
No, it was Van Dijk, Player of the Season. Yeah, it was
Van Dijk.
Yeah, it was Van Dijk.
Oh,
see, that makes sense because I think he stood out last season.
So
more than this season.
Okay, let me pull up the Player of the Year so we've got an idea of who wins it. So we can kind of. So it's been last season was Van Dijk. I'm way too far back. Okay, last season was Van Dijk. And before was kind of understandable. Salah, 32 goals, he broke that record. Then before that was Kante for Chelsea. 2016-17. You guys won the league, right?
Yeah.
Conte.
Was it us? Yeah, I think it was.
17. I want to say that. Yeah, Chelsea won it. So before that was Mahrez when Leicester won it. So. Do you think that's cause enough to say that the winner should come from a Liverpool player? Because they look like they're going to win the league.
What is the situation with that though? Like, if they cancelled, I'll actually
they want to finish the league in July is one.
Yeah.
That's why. But the only thing is, because they've shut the conference leagues, they've shut everything below like the main football leagues. So, and the government's putting in a lot of funding for that because obviously English football is really known for its football pyramid. Like below the Championship, League 1, League 2, we've got the Conference League and all that stuff. But I think what's really like what they're trying to do is finish it off in July. That's why they moved the Euros, and obviously like the only like sticking point is contracts. Obviously, you've got players who are out on loan. Are they gonna? Because ends on June the 30th. I think they've left that towards teams to decide. and teams could take advantage of it. I mean, I could say that United. I personally think that United should just recall Dean Henderson. But
what do you guys think? Should the season be like abandoned, or like how should they go about?
This is an interesting debate actually. I personally think you can't abandon the season because that kind of you kind of have to replay this season in a sense. Like it's like an empty space, and I think each season affects the next to do with players' morale, players' form. Like it's all about continuation, and obviously like depending on how a player performs in the season is where he gets his moves and all that kind of thing. So I think you can't abandon it, but I also think it's unfair to cut it short where it is now, because now is the time where obviously Liverpool, like we don't see people catching Liverpool, but now is the time where the relegation teams and the teams fighting for the fourth spot, teams fighting for Europa, like those places are closed. Like if the season is to continue, I genuinely could not tell you. Like I've got predictions, but I can't tell you for certain that it's going to be either one of United, Chelsea, or Sheffield who are going to get into that top four. Because I think all three of them are in with the spot. Sheffield have got their game in hand, so we're in a situation where that's a really important like last few games that they need to play, and also the relegation as well. Like Villa's in that relegation fight, but I think they've got the firepower to stay up. But if you cut the season short right now, they don't stay up, which is really unlucky.
That's true.
What do you guys think? Should we cut it short? Should we abandon it?
Go on, Suki.
I was gonna say, obviously the idea of postponing it to July is probably the best idea, because
No, it's the first of the internet issues. Suki, you first.
What happened? Yeah, it's frozen.
Where's the
No, we're good, so.
Oh, okay. I'll text him. We'll keep going. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, Joel. Tell us your views till Suki comes back.
I think that. See, either way, if you don't abandon this season, you're gonna have to abandon next season. If that makes sense. Oh, I think Suki's back.
Oh, his laptop died. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Oh, he's back. Okay, we thought your internet had gone, but okay, you're back, which is good.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
My laptop just died. Sorry about that.
No, carry on. You were saying.
Yeah, tell us what you think.
Yeah, I think it should be postponed to August, because like Manny was saying, it's very close, and especially like. I know it's biased, but from a United perspective, like our second half of our season was really picking up, and I think to abandon it or like to completely just call it void is a bit annoying.
Yeah, exactly, and I think especially for a team like United, with the injuries, this could be a big because I think Rashford's back to full training now, as far as I'm aware, and Pogba I think should be. If we restart in July, imagine a United team: Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Martial, Rashford. I think that's the team that could push for top four comfortably. So I think this is really important for teams like that, especially with injuries as well. I think
that the whole problem, it's like, I think it's bigger than each individual team.
Absolutely.
For football to carry on, essentially Champions League needs to go ahead. Every other league needs to go ahead, so that you have promotions and demotions, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just play the Prem and say, okay, Liverpool's won it, but then who gets top four? Who gets relegated?
Yeah.
And like that's for every European league around the world as well. Because then who gets Champions League?
And for the Champions League to continue as well, an important thing for that to happen is like every country, their lockdown procedures have to be in line, and that can't work because coronavirus has been the effect has been different pretty much from country to country. So there have been talks. An interesting thing that I've seen, I don't know if you guys have seen this, there have been talks of, because the lowest, like currently, because obviously China's cases have gone down quite significantly quite recently, what they're thinking of doing is shifting the Champions League to China and finishing off the Champions League but in China. And I don't think that's a good idea, just because while it's gone down,
that's where it started. Like that's where the whole thing started.
And also it's a temporary thing. Like their cases have gone down, but they've started to go up a little bit in the last couple of weeks. So we don't know. What if we send a bunch of players over there and suddenly coronavirus like it flares up? What happens then?
That'd be crazy.
So there's not really a country where we're like, okay, we can comfortably just send people there to go play out the Champions League, because we can't. Even though, for example, the cases have been a bit lower in Africa and all sorts in comparison to the rest of the world, there are cases. Also, would they be able to support like something like the Champions League? Would the Champions League play out in Africa? And also another thing is like, UEFA's not going to be happy because these teams, they get a lot of revenue from, like, especially smaller teams that make it far. They get a lot of revenue. A big team coming to play in their stadium. If we suddenly ship everyone off to a different country, they're going to be like, oh, where's our revenue coming from? Like, our players are going and earning, but like, where's our revenue coming from? Because teams like...
Then in terms of TV, like, they make a lot of money from broadcasting.
That's true.
Because everyone's at home.
That is very true. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. But the only issue is with that, you get a lot of teams like, for example, one notable example for me is when United came to Tranmere's stadium. First thing that pitch was disgraceful.
That was a joke.
But one thing about that is, even though Tranmere got absolutely slaughtered in that game, like, I mean, that screamer from Harry Maguire, like, I've genuinely never seen him.
Oh, what a belter!
Didn't what's his name? Phil Jones score?
Yeah, Phil Jones
did score, yeah.
And that says a lot about that game.
But the thing is, like, teams like that, that's where they earn their big money. Like, that's where, when teams like Man United come, like, even though Man United are not the Man United of Sir Alex Ferguson's era, it's Man United. Like, if you're a Tranmere supporter, you're going to come and watch Tranmere play Man United as opposed to Tranmere play, like, I don't know, Crawley Town or something. You're gonna definitely want to come and watch these games. So that's where they earn their big money. So if you've got I don't know, maybe not so much Champions League, but the last few teams in the Champions League are quite, like, still big teams. I think if you're a small team in the Europa League and say United and Inter, something comes to your stadium, you're going to be they suddenly ship that off to a different country. You're not going to be happy about that. So I think
but I mean, if they resumed,
no, go ahead. Go ahead,
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if you're resuming the matches, like, anyway, they're not gonna get that much revenue because I'm pretty sure they won't have fans in stadiums for like the next. So I mean, and also if they resume it in July, right? Like, what happens to the transfer window? Does that mean next season starts in like October, or like what would be the situation?
They either restart the season in December, having extended the transfer window, because I think logistically it has to start in December if they're going to extend the transfer window and finish off this season. Or I think you either play out your games as soon as possible, but you don't get pre-season, you don't get a transfer window. Now the issue with that, without a pre-season and a transfer window, is you need a transfer window because certain, like, player negotiations. For example, I know there's big talks of Jadon Sancho going to Man United, which is all good fun. And talks have been happening, but I guarantee you, even though talks have been happening, Jadon Sancho will take an entire summer to complete. Players like Bruno Fernandes, that was being talked about for 2 seasons, and it still took the whole transfer window to complete. So if we shorten it or we take it out, that's going to have a big effect on teams. And then we lose a pre-season. Pre-season is so important because, like, that's where you get your match fitness back, but that's where you kind of get a break, because one big thing I read when, like, Ousmane Dembele wasn't settling with Barca, when he keeps getting his consistent injuries, that's not just because he's quite an injury-prone player. Big thing, and his attitude is one big thing as well. A big thing about Ousmane Dembele's injuries is that when he first joined Barca, he'd spent a whole season like a whole, like, pre-season just trying to get away from Dortmund. He didn't have a chance to have a proper pre-season because he was not going to training and everything. So when you don't have a pre-season, especially as a young player, when your body is a bit not so developed, you're more susceptible to injuries, you're not so match fit, you're not so match sharp. So, and pre-season is a perfect time for you to, especially for teams that, like, want to increase their squad size from within. Pre-season is the perfect time to go test out some younger players. I know you're playing, like, I know, a team from Australia or, like, China and all sorts, and you're playing like your youth teams or whatever. But this is your time to shine, because Mason Greenwood doesn't get as much playing time as he has. Like without, I know he's performed through the season, but he had quite a good preseason. He'd scored in almost every preseason game, so I think that's where you get your faith in your own players. So I think you can't lose that as easily as like talks are going. So I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think that's the problem. If you shift this season to like December time, it affects next season.
Yeah, definitely. Because go on, sorry.
Yeah, it affects next season, because then it's like, I don't think players are gonna play if they don't get a preseason.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the thing. So that's what I'm saying. It's either you abandon this season or you abandon next season. Like either way, one season of football is gonna have to take a break.
Yeah. That could be an interesting thing to do. I think you have to complete this season, but I think if we are going to shut next season, maybe teams could have a really extended preseason, or maybe say you shut next season, you comfortably finish off this season by, I don't know, December, and like you really extend it. Then you have like an extended transfer window, and obviously we've got to play out the Euros. Once that's played out, we can give people a comfortable pre-season, maybe start the 21-22 season a bit earlier, I don't know. Because even still, there's going to be a big gap. Say we want to have the Euros, there is still going to be a big jump from January to June time, where like...
That's why, honestly, I think you just void this season. Like, it's probably the easiest option. It's like the most heartless option for like Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
But it's probably the easiest thing to do. Like I think it solves a lot of time problems.
Yeah. So would that mean that, like, for example, like the Champions League places would be from last season then? Or...
Yeah, everything just resets.
Or an interesting, like based off that, something like I think pundits have talked about as well. One thing they could do is what they're thinking is they make the next season. You bring up the promoted teams, you keep the teams that are meant to be relegated, so you kind of have one season of like how many teams will there be? 22 teams, but then the following season you have 5 relegations, so it goes back to 20.
Yeah, that could work as well.
But then for Champions League, I think maybe you could say top 5 goes into the Champions League, top 6 goes into Champions League, I don't know. Or you kind of then you maybe say the next 3-4 places go to Europa League, and maybe have like a huge Champions League, maybe with an extra group.
No, because with the Champions League, they have qualifiers, right? For like the team that finishes
extended qualifiers.
Yeah, so exactly. So that's why I think voiding this season is probably the best thing to do.
With a couple of adjustments to.
With a couple of adjustments, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a shout. Okay, let's talk about the season then, like the football side of it. Let's not talk about the depressing it's been cut side of it. Let's talk about the season that's gone. Let's talk about, so we've come up with a short list of 3 players. We've gone on about that for a bit, so I'm gonna take one player as your PFA player of the season, then we'll talk about a team, for example. So Joe, PFA player of the season, either from that short list or a road shout. Let's hear it.
The thing is, no one stands out. That's the problem.
You got one till he thinks.
As in, I think it's gonna have to be from Liverpool. Like, it would have to be for me. I think Mane. I would put Mane as my player.
You would say Mane. I'm gonna say De Bruyne. I feel like.
Actually, to be fair, like what he's contributed to City, like what is it, like 15 goals, like 19 assists, something like that.
Yeah, he's had insane goals and assists.
Do you know what? I'd put De Bruyne.
Okay, De Bruyne, and Mane.
Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of reconsidering now. Like, I don't know. Like, his stats are mad, and he's kind of propelled that Man City team.
Exactly. So yeah, De Bruyne is definitely okay. De Bruyne is the player we're going with. Let's quickly try and make PFA Team of the Year. I'm gonna say let's go 4-3-3.
Yeah. Are you writing this down?
I'll note it down. Yeah. Let's kind of come to a somewhat majority decision for each position. So goalkeeper, what are you saying? Let's throw some names in. Let's come up with some ideas.
Schmeichel.
Really? That's an interesting one.
I'm gonna throw Dean Henderson into the mix. I think I'm not being biased, but I think like he has the joint most clean sheets in the league as per a goalkeeper, so I think he's got to be up there. If we're talking about most clean sheets, got to be Alisson in the mix as well.
Alisson, yeah. I was gonna say Alisson actually, but I mean that's quite like a obvious shout, I think.
Yeah, but it's the obvious shouts that win you team of the season, player of the season. So,
who's got most saves? Like, do you know?
Okay, let me pull up those stats actually. Most saves is Martin Dubravka from Newcastle.
Interesting.
Followed up by Bernd Leno and then Ramsdale from Bournemouth. So it's kind of most saves is a weird one because it's like you're not gonna face too many shots if you've got a good defense in front of you. So you won't have too many saves. Yeah. If you're like Liverpool, for example, you've got Van Dijk, Trent, Robertson, and Gomez in front of you. Alisson is not gonna make too many saves. In fact, he's down at 39 for saves. So.
Oh right.
So he's not going to face many saves, but if you look at the teams that are near the top, like Dubravka, Newcastle's defense isn't that good. Leno, Arsenal defense is shocking. Ramsdale,
who's after Ramsdale?
Then it's Matt Ryan from Brighton. I know he pulls off a lot of saves. Then we've got Tim Krul, Norwich. Obviously Norwich sitting pretty advanced, so they've got an awful defense. Ben Foster, Watford's defense isn't that good. I know. Burnley are solid, but I think this season their defense hasn't been that good. Then you've got from Crystal Palace, then you've got Schmeichel, then Heaton, Patricio, then De Gea. So you're kind of looking at players who are from teams who face a lot of shots, whereas
who don't keep clean sheets.
Yeah, exactly. If you look at clean sheets, for example, we can see that. So we can see that most clean sheets for keeper. I'm wrong actually. It's Nick Pope. And that's followed by Dean Henderson, and then it's Alisson. So I think Pope is within
out for Dean Henderson,
but I think Burnley haven't done so well that we can say Pope gets in that. I think it's between Henderson and Alisson, and I'm edging towards Henderson because Liverpool's defense is just stronger than Sheffield's defense. So,
but then the better keeper is Alisson.
That is
technically.
He is technically more gifted. So let's have a name from each person. What are we saying, Joe?
Alisson.
Yeah, Alisson as well.
Okay, Alisson is our guy.
I need to say it, but
Alisson is the guy. Then we are going to go to our right back. Now I think there's not really going to be much debate on this. It's
going to be Wan-Bissaka.
You know what? I do.
No.
Saka in an argument. I think it's eventually going to be Trent who
it will be Trent.
Saka is because defensively he has been incredible. But it'd be insane not to go for Trent because he has been. Well, Trent just outdoes himself each season. A centre back pairing. Now this I think could bring out a lot of debate because I think it's not as easy to say who've been the best centre backs in the league. I think we've got. Do we give the Sheffield defenders any shout, or do you think they're a team which is just more than a sum of their parts?
Yeah. That's why I share about Sheffield.
Yeah. So
individually, they're not brilliant.
Yeah, that's why I'm skeptical about putting their players into team of the season. Apart from, like.
But I'd say Van Dijk and what's that Leicester defender?
Don't you?
Yeah.
That's an interesting shout, definitely.
That's my two.
Do we think that so what teams have been really good defensively? Let's look at defensive stats. Tackles, interesting one. Ricardo Pereira comes in at top from Leicester, and then followed by Wan-Bissaka, then Ndidi. That's tackles in the league. Then if we look at we've got things like blocks. Mings comes up. Mings, then Tarkowski, then me, then Godfrey from Norwich. If we look at clearances,
the boss teams.
Mings, Fraser. So you're kind of defending is a weird one, but I think because Van Dijk is a player I'm going to go with, Soyuncu is an interesting one, but I think he's a bit of a limited defender in that he's mainly a hard-hitting tackler. I think in the modern game you need to be a good passer, someone who can step out and make a pass. That's why instead of Soyuncu, I might get a bit of hate for this on the internet.
If you say Maguire,
I know you're gonna say Maguire.
I think
if you say Maguire,
you pair Maguire up with Van Dijk.
absolutely not.
I'm gonna get because he's not been consistent throughout the season. I will hold my hands up for that. But I think he's a good passer. He's a very good passer, and I think like being made he's a leader at the back. I think he's done a good job, and United do have a good defensive record this season. But again,
I'm not entertaining this. This is not happening.
I'm putting this up for debate. I'm trying to be
But the question is, who would you really put Soyuncu over Maguire though? Like, even from an unbiased perspective, like.
I don't know. The guy's been solid, and
has been very good.
Leicester, what, third? And the Premier League, like most of the time, where you finish is based on how good your defense has been, and like how clinical a team you are. So, I think it's unfair to put Maguire ahead of him when like he's defending alongside what's his name, Johnny Evans.
True.
Yeah.
But would you honestly say that Lindelof is considerably better than Johnny Evans this season?
Of course he is.
Yeah, but this
Johnny
season,
Evans is
when I say defensively, because Johnny Evans might not be the passer that Lindelof is, but if you look at pure defending ability, I think Johnny Evans'
ability, he is not close to Lindelof in any like.
Lindelof makes more mistakes than like a Johnny.
Yeah, I think Johnny Evans is a bit more solid, dependable. I'm going to throw in another rogue shot here. I know he's not actually a centre back, but he's played a lot of centre back. I think Fernandinho in such a poor defence.
Yeah, you were going to say Fernandinho, I thought so. Has actually done. So
I'd go for Fernandinho.
I think you could put Fernandinho over Soyuncu. What do you think, Suki?
I think it's a decent shout. To be fair, like I mean, when you said another rogue shot, I thought you might put Fernandinho. Actually, I thought because like he's done a good job at centre back.
He's not technically a defender, but he's done a very good job. I think, especially if we're looking at partners, if we look at who their defensive partners is of the guys we're discussing, Soyuncu's got Evans, Maguire's got Lindelof, so Fernandinho's got Otamendi. I think Otamendi is. I think he's the worst of that lot. So that's why I want to put Fernandinho forward for that. What do you guys think? I think we've all agreed on one. We say Fernandinho?
Yeah.
Fernandinho.
Yeah.
Left back, I'm not going to debate this because, well, I don't think there's really anyone who comes close to Robertson in the league. There might be someone getting, but
Chilwell. I mean, Chilwell's good, but I don't know if he's.
Chilwell's good, but I don't think he comes.
He's not as good as Rebel. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Alonso has picked it up though.
Okay, well, nice.
Marcos Alonso. Oh my days.
So,
team of the season. What, he scored like 2 goals against. Who did he score 2 goals against? And then,
was it
Spurs?
Yeah. He scored a goal against Spurs. I'll be honest with you.
He scored against Spurs and then scored against. I think the team he played after.
The Watford.
Was it Watford?
Was it?
I actually don't remember. I remember the Spurs goal.
Yeah, obviously you can't forget that. That was I saw him lining up for it. I was like, hey, he's scoring that.
Okay, so I'm gonna say we have one CDM and 2 central midfielders. I think one of them's gonna be De Bruyne. CDM. This is, I think, a more of a you can put more of a debate into this. What do we say? I think Fabinho's there. We've got Ndidi in the argument. I think Rodri you can argue Rodri's case.
Nah.
Not over Fabinho. I wouldn't put him over Fabinho or even over Ndidi. Ndidi's been like solid.
Okay, so let's say Fabinho and Ndidi. Defensively, if we look at defensive stats, Ndidi comes out on top, but Fabinho again is playing in a team where he does not do the bulk of defending in midfield, because I think they usually pile quite a workman-like midfield. You've got Henderson and Wijnaldum who share the bulk, whereas Ndidi is sitting back, and Tielemans and Maddison have got their freedom to go forward. So I would put Ndidi ahead of Fabinho for for that reason. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd say he's been crucial to Leicester.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fine. I think Ndidi, like, yeah, fine. That makes sense.
Okay, a third midfielder, because I think we have to put De Bruyne in because we've said he's the player of the season. I think another midfielder to sit next to De Bruyne. Debate was, I think
If you say Fred, say Fred,
I'm not because I don't think Fred has been better than one other guy in that midfield.
Oh my! Listen, no United players in this team.
However,
half a season, and he's
only been
banged
there
it.
for half a season, so I don't want to push Bruno Fernandes' case. But Bruno Fernandes has been incredible. But I'm not going to push his case because he's been there for half a season. I want to look at players that are consistent. I'm going to throw in Kovacic because consistency-wise, he's really been there. I want to say we put in. I'm in fact, you know what? Let's go rogue. I'm feeling controversial today. I'm going to put in Bruno Fernandes into the argument. Bruno Fernandes, Kovacic. Have you guys got any thoughts?
Could you put Maddison or like Harvey Barnes?
Yeah. Maddison and Grealish. I almost forgot about that. Maddison and Grealish.
Yeah, you could.
Anyone?
I think Maddison's a shout.
Yeah.
A bit lower down the table. Any ideas? Any shouts?
Looking at Arsenal or Chelsea, any of the Arsenal midfielder, I can't really see.
Arsenal.
I think Leicester's just picked it up, but I don't think he's done a whole season where.
No, I don't think so. I don't think any Spurs player should get him, to be honest. Like,
Spurs have been awful. I think maybe Son comes into an argument.
Yeah, Son perhaps. Yeah.
Son comes into an argument a bit later on, but I think for now, in midfield, my nominations are going to be Kovacic and Bruno Fernandes. Let's.
But I think Ronaldo's a shout as well.
Yeah.
That's the whole season though. I feel like he has a couple of he has good games, but then I wouldn't say he's a consistent player across the whole season.
Yeah.
And also, Ronaldo doesn't play as much as all the other guys we're talking about. For example, Maddison is a definite player in the team. Kovacic, if he's fit, he's playing. Bruno Fernandes, I'm just not gonna get. But yeah. So, what do you guys think as a third midfielder? Let's have a name from each person.
How good has Henderson been this season? Like,
we're not discussing Henderson. Oh my god,
Henderson, sick.
Henderson would.
Do you know what? I'd put Henderson.
You put Henderson?
I'd put Henderson. Yeah.
He's been consistent.
Are you gonna say Henderson as well, Suki?
I'm considering Henderson, or I want to put Maddison in, but like I think
out of Henderson,
I want to put Bruno, but I don't think Bruno should, based on just half a season. But like,
yeah.
Okay, well, out of Henderson and Maddison, I'm going to say Maddison. So, Suki, you've got the deciding vote. Let's have it.
I don't feel like Henderson gets enough credit for what he does in the Liverpool team.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, like, he's not the most, like, what's it called, player with most finesse, but like, he's crucial.
He's important, Henderson. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, now we're going to go to our wingers and striker. Let's start with left winger. Again, there are going to be some controversial shouts in this. I think we have to say Mane in that shout.
Yeah,
It's got to be a shout. I think Son's definitely a shout. I think
absolutely.
Despite his back injury, and I wish he'd played the whole season, I think Rashford does have to have a shout. 14 goals.
No, absolutely not.
Well, he scored more than Son and Mane. So what's your?
He scored one more goal than Tammy Abraham, and Rashford was playing up front this season.
No, Rashford's played on the left more. Yes, he definitely has.
He hasn't.
What do you think, Saki? He's definitely.
I don't know if you can put. I mean, it's Rashford's best season. Like, don't get me wrong. He's been.
Okay, he's on equal goals with Mane.
Wait, it's his best season. Wow.
Yeah. 14 goals is his best season.
Wow.
In the league.
Wow.
So,
like, and if he didn't get injured, he was in a good vein of form. Like,
Rashford could go far. He's on equal goals with Mane and 2 goals less than Salah, but Salah's on the right wing, so we're not going to argue that. Do we say? Can we say Raheem Sterling in this argument? I want to say Raheem Sterling.
Not this season.
Bernardo, but like you put him on the right, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Bernardo, maybe.
Yeah, he's more for right winger. So okay, let's have a name from each person. I'm as rogue as I'd like to be. I'm gonna go with Mane because I think left wingers in the league. I think maybe he would have had a bit more competition if Hazard was still here. Sorry, Joe. But I'm gonna say Mane. What do you guys say?
I think it has to be out of Son and Mane for me. Like Son has been good this season, but again, I don't really think you can compare him to Mane. I think Mane has been the better player.
Okay, so we got 2 votes for Mane.
The thing is with Son is that he's 2-footed, and I think when Kane had that injury, he sort of carried Tottenham.
He stepped up 100%.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I have to give
so when you're playing for Liverpool, I mean, you do have to step up, but it's easier to step up. Whereas with Tottenham, I mean, that team's a shambles. So for me, I'm gonna go rogue and say Son.
Has he convinced you, Suki? Because he is.
Son is quality. See, I've had that debate in my mind.
I kind of want to say Son now. Joe's put a really convincing argument.
When Son run through, what was it, Burnley's team?
West Ham.
Okay,
West Ham.
Was it Burnley?
Is that Burnley or West Ham? It's one of them.
It was West Ham because Burnley was that. I don't know. Were you there with us when we were watching the Burnley game? Was when it was 2-2, I think, and in the last minute Burnley made a stupid mistake and like it was quite an easy goal. But no, it was West Ham. Yeah, he's right.
West Ham. Okay.
It is West Ham. Yeah. But yeah, that was a mad.
That
has to be.
I'm changing now. I'm gonna say Son. What like?
I'm not saying based on that one goal, but yeah, I think Son.
Son has stepped up and he's played in various positions, so you've got to give him respect.
Yeah.
Okay, striker. I think this is where a bit of debate can come into this. I think
Aubameyang. Actually, wait.
Aubameyang. You've got Vardy. Aguero's comes in third for most goals in the league. I know Joel's itching to say Tammy. We're not saying that.
Depends on if you say Rashford.
Yeah, no, I want to say between Aubameyang and Vardy for me. So, what do you guys think?
In my opinion, the best striker in the league is Aguero, and it's not even close.
In terms of like what he, I mean, he's one of the best ever, I think, in the Premier League.
Like Aguero doesn't disappear in big games, and I've seen Vardy play for England, and he looks ordinary.
True.
But like with Aguero,
as poor as Argentina is, Aguero does actually step up for Argentina. I have to give him credit for that as well. So but if we're talking on this season's basis, I don't know. I don't think he's played enough to warrant.
He was injured for like how long?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I feel like Jesus has played a lot this season. So even though Aguero does have more goals, I think it's got to be between Aubameyang and Vardy. And I am going to say Aubameyang just because I think he's more important to Arsenal than Vardy is to Leicester. So that's my.
I think that there's a shout for Tammy though.
For who?
Tammy Abraham.
Yeah. Because Aubameyang.
We're being controversial today. Let's hear it.
Aubameyang's played on the left for majority of this season as well.
True.
Vardy's been good. I have to give him that. But Tammy, first season, one less goal than Rashford, who apparently is amazing. Played in a Chelsea team that's been struggling, so I don't know.
Interesting, but a Chelsea team that's sitting in fourth. So
right, but think about it. We literally have no other goal scorers in our team.
That is true. That is true.
Our team desperately lacks goal scorers.
Yeah, you lack goals from midfield. That's an important thing.
Goals from everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, true. Okay, you've made a convincing argument. I'm gonna stick with Aubameyang. I know he's mostly played on the left, but he is a striker, so I'm gonna say Aubameyang. What are you guys saying? Is Joe gonna be a rogue and say Tammy?
Yeah, go on. I'll say Tammy.
Okay.
I want to say Vardy. I'm not gonna lie.
They're out of deadlock.
Well, okay. So who's backing down?
I'm sticking with Vardy, man. Like Vardy has been consistent this season. Like as much as you can say that someone can replace him in that Leicester team, I think it's the same with Arsenal as well. Like in terms of the way, like as long as you have a pacey striker that can get him in behind.
True.
Even like it's a bit controversial, but even like a Timo Werner maybe could work for Arsenal. Do what Aubameyang does. Obviously not in the air, but like.
I think and also Leicester are sitting higher than Arsenal, so I think that's got to count for something.
Yeah, I'll give it to Vardy.
Okay, Vardy.
I think Vardy.
And now right winger. Let's see shots. I think if we're looking at goals, Salah's the highest scoring right winger in the league.
Yeah.
I think Bernardo Silva's been really good.
I love Bernardo, man.
He's such an elegant player. I love to watch him play. He's such a
he's technically he's amazing.
Yeah, his as much as it hurt me, his first goal against United in the EFL Cup. Oh wow! Oh wow! What a goal that was. So you know what? I'm going to go controversial. I'm going to say Bernardo Silva. I think he's been the best right winger in the league this year. I don't know if it's so controversial actually, but I'm going to say Bernardo Silva. That's my.
I think he was better last season than this season.
Agreed.
Yes,
but Salah was also better last season than this season.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree. But I also think that Mane's become more of the primary, like the primary goal getter in the league for Liverpool rather than Salah, because I think Salah when he came in was the more important player. But recently they started to share their duties, and maybe even this season I think Mane's taken over. So that's the reason I want to say Bernardo Silva, because I don't think any other right winger in the league has really stood out. I mean,
but we didn't even put Mane in the team. We had Son, Vardy, and we need to have. I feel like we have to put Salah or Mane, because like that front three has been ridiculous for them. If you don't even put one of the front three in the.
I'd put Salah. Yeah.
Salah?
I'd put Salah.
Yeah. So he wants a Liverpool player, so let's.
I think it has to be Salah, man. You can't really. You have to put either Salah or Mane, one of those two.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a shame, because I really like Bernardo Silva. But
I've been thinking about what other things we could talk about. Here's an interesting one. Let's move outside the Premier League a little bit, because I know we all at least follow the Champions League. I think something, because I've watched like YouTube channels and all sorts of things. Something that I've seen that's come out recently, which like something that I don't see a lot, is people don't give like team of the season for the Champions League, like especially people who discuss football. So I want to try and do that for teams so far. The limitation I'm going to put on it is, I think the teams that are in the, I think we reached the quarterfinals, I want to say.
Yeah.
So the teams in the quarterfinals. So let me pull up those teams actually.
I don't know off the top of my head. I need to find.
Yeah, let me pull up those teams, and then I think off those teams, let's make like a team of the season. So. Let's see. So 2019. So we have got. Where is the qualifying rounds? Where is? Okay, here we go. So this is the round of 16. Okay, I'm going to say teams from the round of 16, because only like 4 teams have qualified from that, because we didn't get to play all the games. So from the round of 16, we've got Dortmund, PSG, Real Madrid, City, Atalanta, Valencia, Atletico.
PSG have already qualified. Like. Yeah,
technically, but I think we should include all 16 teams, just because some teams haven't had a chance to play out their games. So Dortmund, PSG, Real Madrid, City, Atalanta, Valencia, Atletico, Liverpool, Chelsea, Bayern, Lyon, Juventus, Tottenham, Leipzig, Napoli, and Barca. So for goalkeeper,
where's United?
So what do you mean? Why? There's no need for that comment. Literally no need.
He does this all the time. Himself in
what a dickhead.
he always comes out and he goes, why are you playing on Thursday? And I'm such an idiot.
But it's true. Why are you playing on Thursday?
So I'm such an idiot. I'll be like, because we're playing in the Europa League. We'll be like, but yeah. Let's hear for goalkeepers of the teams that I've said. I'm gonna say Oblak straight away. I just don't think anyone comes close.
Oh, he's so sick. I think he's one of the best in the world. Like, has to
I
be.
think he is the best.
Yeah.
Like, if we look at the keeper, not including the team or whatever, I think no one comes close to Oblak.
Oblak, maybe Ter Stegen is a bit of a wild one, but like I think
Ter Stegen
Oblak
comes
is better.
He's amazing as well.
Yeah, Ter Stegen distribution
He's
is pretty good, but I just think Oblak is a class apart when it comes to shot stopping.
Oh,
Yeah.
that performance against Liverpool shows, man. Like he was
Yeah,
insane.
that was incredible. When they were like, when they had to sit back and just face shot after shot after shot, I think.
And I think that's probably harder to do than to be like a Barca keeper where the shots you face are quite limited. So
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
right back. I think it's got to be the same right back as our previous team. I don't think
Trent.
I don't think anyone in the Champions League currently comes close right back wise. I think Trent is comfortably the best right back in the Champions League. Now centre backs is where it gets interesting, because we can say Van Dijk as one of them if we want to.
Mhm.
But I think the Champions League has got a good pick of centre backs that we could take.
There's so many good ones.
There are quite a few good ones. I think Marquinhos is there with a shout.
Mm-hmm.
Marquinhos is very good. I think
Who are Atleticos? Jimenez and Savage, isn't it?
no, Jimenez was injured, I think, for the Liverpool game. So it was Felipe and Savage.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I don't know. I think for me it's quite simple. It's just Van Dijk and Ramos. Like, yes, Marquinhos is good. Atletico, I think the way they play is more. It's not predominantly how good their centre backs are, but it's how good
the whole team defends as a
the
unit.
shape. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you say Van Dijk and Ramos. I would struggle to argue with that, to be honest. Van Dijk and Ramos is a very good shout.
I don't see any other centre backs compete.
What do you say, Seki?
Juventus, well, like I guess I haven't really watched Juventus that much this season, but as like De Ligt's not been that good for them.
Yeah, De Ligt has struggled in to settle in. So I think De Ligt is a difficult one to put in. I think Juventus haven't been that good. So I'd be a little against putting them in. What I'm gonna say to Joel's Van Dijk and Ramos thing is, I think this season Varane has been more of a standout defender in that Real Madrid team. I think Ramos' age has started to catch up with him. So I personally think if you're going to put in two centre backs, it's going to be Van Dijk and Varane.
To that, I'd say, if you ask any Madrid fan, to them, I don't think it's that close.
True. But I'm talking about this season though, just this season.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about this season as well. I think the importance they place on Ramos being there.
Yeah.
In a way, I do think Varane is more replaceable.
But he did get sent off in the.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that was the right. It was debatable, but
the sticking point I have with Ramos is I feel like he's an incredible defender, an incredible passer at the back, and like I think is in the conversation. I mean, he's definitely in the conversation for one of the best centre backs in Champions League history. But I think the issue I always have with Ramos is, especially if you're comparing him with someone like a Chiellini, for example, I just think Van Dijk's temperament, his like red card and yellow card record is just, I don't think it's good enough to warrant him, and especially this season. I think in a crucial stage against a team like City, do you really want to be sent off? Like say it had played out, I think that red card has pushed City towards say that fixture's played out. I think that red card means that City go through without question. So
but that just shows the importance of Ramos, then, doesn't it? Like,
true. That's also true. I feel the only reason I'm a little against Ramos is the fact that I feel like he is important, but the fact that if he needs to be there to be important, if that makes sense. Like if he's going to get sent off, then what do they do? So I think like a player like Varane, for example, is like he stays on the pitch, and he has been very good this season. So I think
I don't know. I think it's
let's not name names.
I'm still gonna say Ramos.
You're gonna say Ramos?
Ramos.
Yeah, I don't really think that's an argument. Like, what the red card, yellow card thing. Like, he has been good this season in the Champions League. I feel like obviously Real Madrid themselves have been inconsistent, but like I think Real Madrid is a very important player for them.
Left back. I think left back isn't as open and shut because there's one player.
I'm gonna go Alphonso Davies.
He doesn't play left back.
Very good, isn't he? He is very good. That
He does play left back, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does play left back. He's like properly a left back now.
What he did to Chelsea.
That was
man.
cruel. That was cruel. But yeah, I mean, the shouts are going to be Davies. I think Robertson deserves a shout. I think. I also want to put in Hakimi. I know he plays either left or right and sometimes plays a bit further forward. I want to put in Hakimi.
Hakimi is a weird one.
He's been really good this season in the Champions League. Like he scored twice against Inter. He's put in some really good performances, and oh my god, he's fast. So
he's a weird one because I don't know what position he plays.
He's technically a right back, but he's played left back enough that I think we can put him in this team. But yeah, those are my main three shouts. I don't think Marcelo's been good enough, and plus I think Ferland Mendy's played a lot more, and I think Ferland Mendy's still kind of getting himself into the team. I think Jordi Alba's not been good enough, so I don't think we can put in our traditional shouts. Have you guys got any other shouts from any other teams that could make it into this?
Nah,
I don't think. What PSG's left back's what? Bernat, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have names. I'm gonna go with Hakimi because I've put his name forward, and I think he's been really good in the Champions League. I think defensively and going forward, he's one of those defenders who's.
I'm gonna put Davies.
Davies.
From what I saw, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't, to be honest, I can't really say much about Davies. I haven't seen him apart from that Chelsea game. Like, I haven't really followed him that much. So, I don't know. Like, based on what I've seen, I would have to say Robbo. But, like, I don't know. If you guys are going crazy about Davies, then Davies is...
We're at an impasse again. Someone has to change.
I mean...
I'll agree with Davies. Let's go with Davies, actually.
Yeah, Davies fine.
I think Champions League, especially after that Chelsea game. Oh my goodness, that was that was so horrible. I mean, Christensen's not a good defender, but oh my goodness.
Nah, to be honest, we need to sell him.
Yeah,
like I'm all for giving young players a chance, but
yeah, but he's had his chance. I think Christensen's one of those players who his value is going to keep dropping, so you need to cut your losses now.
Yeah.
Okay, CDM. So who's sitting? I think Fabinho comes into this argument again, but I don't know if he's played that much Champions League. I'm gonna put Kimmich forward because Kimmich has been really good.
I think Gay for PSG.
Gay's been good as well. Yeah, I'm gonna say Kimmich.
Thomas Partey from.
Oh, that's a strong shout.
That's my shout.
You're gonna say Thomas? So
I think he's solid.
That is the name.
Thomas is a very good shout. Okay, and two centre mids to sit next to Thomas Partey. I'm going to throw in my favourite player of right now. Frankie de Jong can do everything. I know he's not been incredible. I know he's had a couple of teething problems, but Frankie de Jong is a guy who can do absolutely everything. And
I've not seen him actually. I've not seen him.
I want to put him forward because he in that current Barca team, which is really, really underperforming, even that midfield, like Rakitic has passed it, Vidal's passed it, Busquets, you can see his age catching up with him. Frankie de Jong he's had a couple of teething problems, I won't say no, but he has been so, like, he's one of those players who, like, he's like a generational midfield talent, like, who can do everything. Like, you don't see many midfielders who's so good at every single aspect of the midfielder. Like, defending.
What position does Dybala play?
He's a cam, isn't he?
I think this season has played on the wing a bit, so you can put him for the shout. But I'm going to say Frankie de Jong is definitely one of my shouts. And like, I know it's not from this season, but a game that really showcases how good he is I don't know. I think I might have mentioned this to you guys before, but you know when Ajax beat Juventus in the Champions League, I want to say quarterfinals. Tom, what's his name? Allegri came out and he said that he told his Juventus players to kind of key in on Frenkie de Jong, because obviously he keeps that midfield ticking over. He got all his midfielders to kind of be like, okay, you need to have two guys and this guy. So all Frenkie de Jong does is becomes another centre back, like literally just without anyone telling him. This guy's 21. He has the maturity to become a third centre back and then control the game from there, and then they won it. And I just think for a player, something that people don't talk about much in football, for a player to have the on-field maturity to go ahead and do something like that is just like, I really want to put Frenkie de Jong as one of my midfield shouts. So I think Frenkie de Jong is there. I think you can actually put Gay in, but I don't know if that becomes too much of a defensive team.
Yeah.
I want to say
again,
actually from Athletic.
Yeah, De Bruyne, yeah.
Saul Nunez is a shout too.
Do you know, I'd go for the other two midfielders. I'd go De Bruyne and probably Saul.
Okay, I'm gonna go, just for the sake of balance, I'm gonna go De Bruyne and Frenkie de Jong, and Suki again the decision.
Yeah, okay. I think. I mean, to be honest, like I haven't seen much of Saul or De Jong. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but what I've seen, I think Frenkie de Jong is insane. Like when I've watched him play, he's on another level.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Like Saul is good, but like, I feel like Frenkie de Jong's intelligence, like kind of reading the game, he's
for sure.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I'll put Frenkie.
De Bruyne and Frenkie.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, our forward line. This could left wing. Let's have a left wing first. Neymar. I'm gonna throw him into the mix. He's incredible, but also this season he's really stepped up a level. You've got to say Mane in this shout. I think Mane's been really good in the Champions League. Left wingers.
Does Dybala play on the right or the left?
Right.
He's left-footed right, so he tends to play on the right. Yeah.
No, okay, fine.
Where does Mbappe play?
Mbappe's been a striker this season because mainly he's played down the middle, but he more plays on the right because obviously they've got Neymar. So
and Icardi as well.
Yeah,
I'd go Neymar.
Yeah, so yeah, that's fair. Yeah, Neymar on the left.
Okay, striker.
I would put Vinicius, but
yeah, I don't think you can't choose the Neymar, is it? Okay, striker. I'm gonna start off. I don't know if it's so controversial, but I want to say Haaland. Haaland's got to be.
That's not controversial at all. I think that's one of the top picks.
I think
it has to be.
He's controversial because, in comparison to the other strikers he's going up against, like your Mbappe, your Lewandowski, so on and so forth.
Oh,
that guy is amazing.
He's the best finisher, I think, in the world.
Yes.
From players that I've seen throughout like my football experience from a young age, Lewandowski is up there for finishers. We're all of a similar age, so we probably all started getting into football around the same time as well. So I think of the strikers we would have seen, I think Lewandowski is such a talent.
Do you know, I remember when Chelsea got linked with him, I was so happy. That guy is incredible.
And he keeps breaking records, and even when Bayern aren't performing, he seems to hit goals every game, and it's great. Yeah. He's so good.
I actually want to put him above Haaland.
Yeah.
Okay, so top scorers, incidentally, in the Champions League, go Lewandowski, Haaland, Gnabry, Mertens, Kane, and Mbappe. So I still want to stick with Haaland just because of his age as well, and the fact that he switched teams and at 19, and also the goals he scored against PSG in that first leg. My goodness.
But I think when you put it into perspective, I think Ronaldo has to get into this team.
You think so? But he's not scored very many goals. If we're looking at strikers, he's actually in Champions League. He's not in this top 50.
But isn't he like all-time he's like up there for like all-time goal scorers. Man.
All time,
Yeah, I mean,
if
this
you're looking
season-
at this season, Ronaldo's been quite poor. So I think we have to go with like I am going to stick with Haaland. I think his main competitor is going to be Lewandowski. I think the reason I'm going to stick with Haaland is because his age again. He switched teams, which is not easy to do. Like you go, I know he's gone into a better team, but it's not easy when you're used to one creator, and especially when you're a striker and you go to another team and you've got another guy creating for you. I mean, yeah, granted, Sancho is miles apart from Minamino or whatever, but like Haaland to get into that Dortmund team, and then it's not that he has only scored against small teams. He's scored against Liverpool. He's that goal against 2 goals against PSG on his Champions League debut team. Like
I think then Timo Werner has a shout as well.
True, Werner has been very good. Werner is
They're into the quarterfinals now, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Werner's on 4 goals. Haaland's on 10, and Lewandowski's on 11. So
I think Haaland.
I'd go Lewandowski, but yeah.
Haaland, and for a right winger, I think there is one man. I don't want to say his name, but I don't know if he's been that good in the Champions League. Leo Messi.
I haven't heard of him.
Yeah, have you know?
Who's that?
I think this season, I don't think he's been incredible. Obviously, he's carried Barca, but like his standard is apart from everyone else. But I'm gonna compare Messi to Messi's standard and say Messi has not been up to Messi's standards this season. Whereas if I look at other right wingers, just for the sake of argument, let's not talk about Messi too much. I think Mbappe comes in with a shout. Jadon Sancho comes in with a shout.
I'd say Mbappe.
Mbappe
is unreal. I think it has to be
Mbappe. Okay, so
Sancho maybe, I guess, but like, I think Mbappe is like worlds apart.
Yeah, let's look at this team that we've built. Oblak, Trent, Van Dijk, Ramos, Davies, Thomas, De Bruyne, Frankie de Jong, Neymar, Haaland, and Mbappe. Do you think that team could win the Champions League? So they had a decent squad behind them.
Therefore.
Wait, what do you mean? As long as you got Thomas Partey in that midfield, he's a workhorse.
Yeah, I think he's a very, very good team.
Yeah, solid.
One thing, it depends who the manager is, though.
True.
Did you see the Unai Emery thing about him blaming his girlfriend for getting sacked?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He blamed his ex-girlfriend for him getting sacked to Arsenal.
How does that work? Like,
I don't know.
Did he elaborate, or was he just like, no, my ex?
I saw it on an Instagram post. It was just like Unai Emery has
That's reliable.
girlfriend. And I'm like,